Hey everyone, welcome back to part 3 of my journey post vestibular schwannoma surgery. Uh, if you haven't seen part 1 or 2, I'll have the links down below in the description section. I think the last one I left off about a week after surgery. So I'm gonna kind of pick up where I left off. The second week, I already started feeling a lot better where I was mobile. I could do stuff myself. I could eat my own food, make my own food, walk around. With me working pretty much the last 15 plus years, 40 hours a week at least minimum, I kind of tried to figure what am I going to do to spend my time because I love video games, but I always think that there's something more that I'm capable of doing. One of the things I did was kind of remodel my dining room slash living room over a week or two span. The next couple of weeks, I repainted the entire dining room, living room area, uh, redid the chandelier in my dining room, installed a new ceiling fan, and put a new light fixture up in my living room. Now, you would think that my balance issues would cause some, drama, maybe going up and down a ladder, but it really wasn't that bad. My balance issues, I was pretty much in control of that for the most part. Uh, and I could kind of work at my own pace because I wasn't going for any kind of deadline. I was just like, all right, today I'm going to install this fan. And if it took me 6 hours to do or 2 hours to do, it didn't not really matter. And it's like I had work the next day. I could just pick off where I left off. And that's part of the journey or the rehab of this post surgery is your rehabilitation is knowing your limits and knowing what's your triggers, what kind of brings you to the point of getting dizzy, getting sick, or getting headaches. What triggers these things? One of the things I found out was two things was um, the main thing was fast motions. I could no longer. I'm a fast walker, uh, but slowing down, not going as fast. Just kind of taking my time to not only just get your balance, because your balance is still going to be off when you're walking, but it won't be as bad to where like you need a walker going around. You'll be able to get around just fine. But like I took my dogs for a walk and I made sure I took the slow dog. Didn't have the other two sleigh pullers on me. But walking fast, trying to keep them up with them did trigger some, I would say, some dizziness, some nausea, some headaches the next day. Or later that day, I started getting a migraine. So just kind of knowing what your triggers, what your limits are. If you need to take a break, take a break. I can't tell you how many breaks I took putting up a ceiling fan because I was going up and down that ladder. And I'm no electrician, so I was taking my sweet time making sure I didn't burn down my house. But even painting, taking my time doing a section. I didn't do the whole painting in one day. It probably took me a good, I think, 4 days to paint the entire living room slash dining room. Um, but taking your time, knowing when to take a break, knowing your limits, pretty much. At about 2.5 weeks, I love driving. It's one of the things I enjoy in life is driving my car. And so I finally was like, I think I can do it. And I told my wife to give me the keys. We were driving about 45 minutes out of the way, but it's a pretty simple drive with only a few turns. Um, so I was able to do it, no problem. I would not recommend doing it, driving that soon if you don't know where you're at or you have to do a lot of left and right turn. Because I did notice that when I'm whipping my head back and forth fast like that, I wasn't really retaining all the information that I was seeing, or it felt like a blur, or it made me a little queasy. It was a little dizzy to me. So I would recommend not doing it if you're going on a route where you're going to have to do that a lot of downtown traffic. This was pretty much, other than a couple turns, it was all highway traffic. So it was easy drive. It was a good one for me to start out with. Uh, Basically driving from Austin, where I live at, to Killeen. It's a two highway stretch and or three, two highway stretch, and we're there. That wasn't that bad. Um, I just try to keep myself busy. I think the worst thing you could do is just kind of sit around and do nothing. And not only that, I get crazy anxiety. I started thinking about other things. So as long as I kept myself busy, I felt like I was doing good. Another thing I did is played around with my stock market and actually had pretty success. Made as much as I would at my normal job, just sitting on the couch playing with it and checking on it periodically throughout the day. Not really religiously following it, but just checking in and out on it. Uh, but yeah, just keep yourself busy. I think about week 4, that's when I started getting the itch to return to work, though, because I pretty much completed all my projects around the house that I wanted done. Um, but I had a couple of bad days, had a bad weekend, and then I realized I needed another week before I even thought about it. Uh, Brought my nephew down here. It's for him to stay at the house because I'm already here. He's pretty easy to take care of. Uh, but you get the occasional migraine. You still get the dizzy spells. I'm still deaf in my right ear, even 4 weeks past. Uh, I still have taste buds on my right side of my mouth. Is still a little not right really there. I'm still numb back here, behind my ear where they did the surgery. Even parts of my ear are still a little numb. But you will start to feel better daily. So I'm going to end this video right here. We'll pick up next time. Thank you. Comments down below and links to all the parts down below. Thank you.